It's a pleasure to introduce Mr. Ashish Pandey, who is Deputy Director of Tobacco Control Department in the International Union Against Tuberculosis and Lung Disease. And he has been now working in tobacco control for quite some time. And his introduction is, of course, there on the screen. I think, can everybody see this screen? Yeah, I think so. So I won't read everything in the interest of time, but look forward to hear Ashish, and over to you now.
Thank you, sir. Honestly speaking, sir, being introduced by you itself is a kind of one of the highest honor I have ever received. So thank you very much. And really congratulations to Dr. Sonu and Dr. Rakesh for organizing this. This is in the given scenario, I think this is the best thing that we could have achieved. Let me go without wasting time. Let me go through my presentation. Just wanted to confirm, is my presentation is visible now? Hello?
Ashish, you have access for the sharing screen. You can try.
Team can give.
I have started sharing my screen. So I just wanted to confirm if it is visible.
Garima, close your screen then. Garima? Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. It's wonderful to hear the presentation of Dr. Monica and then Dr. Upendra. Both have immense knowledge and understanding on tobacco control on a research perspective and a policy perspective. I would like here to take a kind of a step back again and just let everybody remind that why tobacco control first. That although the tobacco death rarely make headlines and tobacco kills one person almost every 6 seconds. In 2008, WHO estimated that unless urgent action taken, tobacco annual death toll would be roughly 8 million by 2030. But in a very recent report, it has said that it is already reached 8 million deaths per year. More than 7 million people are dying because of tobacco use, and 1.2 million additional because of the smoke, secondhand smoke exposure. So starting from that, so why youth? Why we need to protect youth? So there is a rationale behind it, and as very rightly Dr. Monica has also presented in her slides, that tobacco dependence is a pediatric disease. Most of the people begin tobacco consumption at adolescent, and if somebody is starting before age of 18 or age of 15, there is a high possibility that the person will continue as a tobacco user for a very long time. 39–40% of current tobacco user are smoker. And if I move forward, tobacco industry interference is still identifies the single greatest impediment to progress in reducing tobacco use, because they need to recover the gap because of the people which are dying. They need to maintain their consumer base. So they are reaching out to the new recruit. And when they are reaching out to the new recruits, then it's become more challenging for the country like India. Compared to many other developed and developing countries, India's epidemic is and will be driven by youth. As we can see that more than 70% of Indian population is under the age of 35 or 40. And so therefore, and there is also evidence which says that there is a very low quit rate among young users. Dr. Gupta's sir's one of the very notable research work long back. It says that 5,500 children start tobacco use in India on a daily basis. So what industry do to maintain this consumer base? Because it's a theme that how to protect youth. Let's first understand how industry reach out to this consumer base. The very first thing is industry ensure easy availability and accessibility. They keep the product cheap, they keep it available where the youth have quick access. And they glamorize it as like anything. The best of the best, the actors and actresses are there who have depicted smoking or tobacco consumption scenes in movies. And it's not just the most popular Bollywood movies. It's also in all the regional movies, all the vernacular languages. The WHO very recently it has also established that at least half of the in 2018, at least half of the tobacco contaminated movie were youth rated. And then Dr. Monica has emphasized a lot on this. I will not invest much time on this. Now the tobacco use is being glamorized through on-demand display. It's streaming left, right, and center without any control, without any restriction. And if you really are not intrigued yet, see this one. This is one Telugu web series where two actors are picturized as a student. They are in a student dress, school dress, and the title says why the series name is a must watch, and that is how they are progressing. And here I'm not covering the social media, which is even far more reach nowadays. They are also organizing promotional event, may not be directly with the name of in the name of tobacco brands, but maybe alternate brands. Like Dr. Upendra says that it's invisible. They will be organizing sponsored and sponsoring the event. We would not even know that it is being organized to promote or generate credibility for tobacco industry. The tobacco, the industry is still advertising tobacco in point of sale. And there are so much of surrogate advertisement. They have an old product in a new avatar, that's hookah. Hookah at 5 states has banned hookah, but many are yet to have a much needed action on this. Then comes the flavoring, keep the people hooked, attract and keeping the people hooked. And they are innovating with the flavored balls in the cigarette. And then the novel product. Again, Dr. Monica spoke a lot on this, so I'm not investing much of time. The union has a position paper, Dr. Rana said in his opinion, opening remarks. So what do we do, the union, on tobacco control? with our regional office and our country office and network of our partner, and of course support of our BI grants program, the union is supporting tobacco control in more than 45 countries at this point of time. And one of the key projects that we are doing in partnership with the University of Bath, GGTC, and Vital Strategy is Stopping Tobacco Organization and Product. The main purpose of this project is it's a kind of a global tobacco industry watchdog, and its mission is to expose and counter industry behavior. A large part of its work is to focus on how industry acting at global level and across country. But the key is, of course, is translating the global work and research to action on the ground to impact policy, which is where the local collaboration and utilizations comes in. There are many publications which are there. The Krug 9 is a publication which has outlined 9 ways of tobacco industry undermine the policy. Similarly, the Tobacco Industry Index, Dr. Monica has already shared on this. It has been developed by Southeast Asia Tobacco Control Alliance, SIETCA, in a collaboration with StopPro. Yeah, I'm just about to finish. So COVID-19 monitoring, so we have also come up with a lot of brief. So, but what we are doing in India with our grant program, we are working in more than 20 plus states, and we have already completed 40 grants, and there are 15 ongoing grants. And with those grants, what we do, we liaison, partner, and assist the government and NGO. And there are many policy gain that has been achieved. These are the policy gain that Dr. Monica is asking, that where we need to work. We are working at the grassroots level so that it can be adopted at the highest level. And we are also supporting the institutionalization and implementation of national program. Unless until we have a strong national program, the tobacco control work sustainability is always be questioned. And of course, we need to implement the law. The union has worked to make 160 plus smoke-free jurisdictions and many other high compliance jurisdictions for taps and protection of minor. With that, possibly I'll rest my presentation here. Thank you for your contribution to a tobacco-free generation. Over to you, Garima, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ashishji, for your insightful presentation and giving insights about how the tobacco industry plays a role